Boy, the hits just keep coming, folks, out of South Africa. Breaking news where the Constitutional Court of South Africa just a short while ago denied a leave to appeal, the Constitutional Court dismissing a leave to appeal by AfriForum, an advocacy group that was determined to get a ban for the controversial hate speech song, Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer. In a ruling handed down a short while ago, the Apex Court said the application bears no reasonable prospects for success. And this raises the question, are the courts captured in South Africa? How can the highest court in the land not uphold the Constitution? How can it not protect the human dignity of South Africans? How can South Africa's highest court ignore the human rights, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights that South Africa is signatory to? And will the world pay attention? Here's an example of some of the things that have been said recently about minorities. Utterances. I want to taste the blood of an Afrikaner. I want to moor a Boer, said a Pretoria councillor, a member of the executive committee for Pretoria, for Tshwane. Nothing happened, no consequences. Insulting of colored South Africans on a FlySAF Air flight. I am an ANC by Nobs Mkhize. No action taken to date. A music producer, Nota Bloye, in an interview, saying that white people are genetically inferior to black people, that they are little more than dogs and need to be disciplined and chained as such. And then he follows that up later on with another interview in which he said, we will slaughter white people and drive them to the sea. That's what he said. Of course, he tried to back away from that after he realized what he'd actually said. But in South Africa, using an Arabic word is considered hate speech and can put someone in prison as a convicted felon. Flying the Union flag, which represents the Union of South Africa, is considered hate speech because it's falsely attributed to the apartheid era, which it had nothing to do with. But black South Africans can sing a song to inspire the murder of white farmers. Now, this decision comes on the heels of a prolonged struggle between AfriForum and the EFF. They're pushing to have this song blocked from public use. They don't want to see it because of its historical context tied to racial tensions in South Africa during the apartheid era and its violent connotations. And with good reason. In the past, farm attacks and brutality have often spiked after Malema sings this idiotic song. The court ruling confirms the previous ruling by the Equality Court that the song, often chanted, as I said, by economic freedom fighters leader Julius Malema at rallies, does not constitute hate speech, but rather falls under the protection of free speech, which is where the Union flag should fall. I'm not advocating for people using the Union flag. It's a divisive symbol for people who don't like it. But singing Kill the Boer, not only a divisive symbol, but it's also hateful speech. It's also a call to violence. And that alone should ban it. It shouldn't be an equality court issue. It should be a criminality court issue. It's inconceivable ruling that has called into question the legitimacy of these courts. Now that the Constitutional Court has ruled, minority South Africans are at the mercy of violent groups intent on harming them. The courts won't protect them. The police aren't protecting them. Perhaps it's time for another novel International Court of Justice court case. Perhaps another country will approach the ICJ over South Africa not protecting human rights, specifically the right to life, the right to human dignity. In August of 2022, the lobby group AfriForum lost this case in the Equality Court before Judge Erwin Mohaledi, who said the song doesn't constitute hate speech and deserves to be protected under the rubric of freedom of speech. Well, the Union flag isn't hate speech. It's not even speech. It should also be protected, shouldn't it? And now the case is dismissed at the highest court in the land. Are South Africa's institutions in place to protect South Africans or to extract racial revenge against people born in an era ruled exclusively by the ANC? Racial revenge against people based solely on their skin color. That seems to be the role of the courts in South Africa. Are they captured? It's hard to say. But one thing's for sure, this ruling is illegitimate, and this is wrong. Morally wrong. Legally wrong. How can the highest court in the land say that people singing, exhorting people to violence to murder other people based on their skin color is not a crime? You might not call it hate speech, but calling people to commit violence against others is clearly a violation of law in every legal jurisdiction in the world. You simply can't do that. It's ridiculous. How any court could say this is legal is beyond comprehension. But there you have it, folks. Today, the 27th of March, 2025, South Africa's Constitutional Court hands Donald Trump yet another example of how minorities are under threat in South Africa. And the courts, the police, the government are not there to protect all South Africans. It certainly appears from the outside that the purpose of all of this is to extract racial revenge. when the vast majority of people in the country were born after then the apartheid era. So why are you targeting people based on their skin color? You're no better. In fact, you're worse than the National Party was when they ruled. At least they came up with a reasonable ideological basis for their stupidity. You have no basis for the stupidity. It's shameful. It's immoral. It's disgraceful. And the world will look the other way. The European Union, the African Union, bodies that ostensibly care about human rights don't care about human rights when it comes to certain groups of people. And this is disgraceful. It won't be tolerated. It will not be tolerated. Someone will do something about this in the international arena. What say you, South Africa? Cheers.